There was a time about 5 years ago when Mom started complaining about the doorbell ringing. It happened at night, between 2 and 3 a.m. Persistent, demanding. Mom said she was always surprised that no one else in the house heard it but her. She would go downstairs, walk to the hallway, and ask, "Who is it?" And every single time, the answer was dead silence. We didn't have the peephole back then. We only installed it during the renovation 2 years ago. So she would just stand there, listening intently, hoping to hear footsteps or rustling. But nothing. They rang and they stayed silent. Mom never dared to open the door and just went back to bed. In the morning, she'd complain to me and Dad. My father, being a skeptic and a joker, said it was Mom's conscience visiting her from the void, or maybe the ghost of a pay raise. Mom didn't find it funny. Just like Dad, I never heard those strange rings and thought Mom was just imagining things in her sleep. But it repeated every week with frightening regularity. Eventually, Mom simply stopped going to the door and the nightly ringing stopped. As it turned out, only for a while. Since last year, I've started suffering from insomnia. I could lie in the dark for hours, staring at the ceiling, listening to the clock ticking right next to my ear. On nights like this, time drags slowly, like thick molasses. Only when the windows start to turn gray does sleep arrive, usually hollow and colorless. I didn't take sleeping pills. I just drank herbal tea with mint, but it didn't help much. The night turned into torture. It happened on one of those sleepless nights. Early February, a deep, moonless night. Outside, snow was falling heavily. I was alone in the house. My parents had gone to visit my grandmother, but couldn't make it back. Buses and roads were cancelled due to the blizzard. I went to bed late, around 1 a.m. Usually, I turn it earlier for classes, but as soon as my head hit the pillow, I knew sleep wasn't coming. I tossed and turned, wrapped myself into blankets, buried my head under the pillow, trying to force myself to sleep. Useless. I had to resort to an old tradition. Roll onto my back, lie perfectly still, and think about everything and nothing, waiting for the sky to lighten. I was just waiting for the first rays of dawn. Suddenly, I flinched. The doorbell rang, piercingly. Someone was pressing the bottom way too hard, as if trying to wake up the neighbors too. I figured my parents had returned. I rushed to the door, reached for the lock, automatically asking, "Who is it?" No one answered. I got suspicious. The bell rang again with the same persistence. "Who is it?" I said. "Answer me." In response, silence. I listened closely. No rustling, total silence. A chill hit me. The bell rang again. I stood on my tiptoes and looked through the peephole. The porch was flooded with a bright light. I saw him. A boy, maybe 10 years old, standing on the threshold. He wore a simple sheepskin coat, no head, old felt boots, and mittens dangling on strings. His hair was dark, his face round but completely devoid of expression. His eyes were huge, colorless. It was snowing outside, but there wasn't a single snowflake on him. His clothes were dry. He lifted his head and looked straight up, as if he knew I was watching him. And then it hit me. How did such a small kid reach the doorbell? Why is he silent? And where did he come from? There are no kids that age in our neighborhood. The terror soaked into my bones. I kept watching, and suddenly, the boy curled his lips, and his face instantly darkened. He opened his mouth and spoke.
Don't look at me.
The voice was raspy, creaky, like an old man.
Don't look, or it will be worse.
I wanted to scream, but I stumbled back into the hallway. But the scratching had already started. A guttural muttering came from the other side.
He saw.
I stood there, paralyzed with fear, not knowing what to do. The scratching and rasping got louder. "Oh God!" I screamed, losing my mind. "Deliver me from evil." I started praying, my hand trembling towards the door. "Help me, God. Protect me from this." And almost immediately, the scratching stopped. Something rasped, slammed against the door, and went silent. I kept praying, making the sign of the cross in the air. I stood like that for 10 minutes. I listened. Silence. I didn't dare look through the peephole again. I went back to my room, turned on every light, and sat there until morning, until I just passed out from the tension. My parents returned by noon. They woke me up, complaining about the weather, and asked what happened to the front door. They said there were scratches on it. It's upholstered in vinyl. We replaced the layer recently. The scratches were small but noticeable, deep. I thought I was going to faint when I saw them myself, but I held it together. Since then, I haven't heard the doorbell ring, neither has Mom. And thank God, someone or something really accepted that it wouldn't be let in. Or maybe it got scared that it was seen. Or it's knocking on another door, and God forbid, someone
Opens it.